If you struggle staying committed towards your goal, then I'd love to share a little 3-step process that you can apply every single day to help you stay consistent towards the thing that you're working on. Because it's pretty achievable to start. You know, we give it a week, we give it 2 weeks, we feel real confident in it. And it's when it gets to the month, 2 months, 3 months, that commitment does become much harder. But after this, you'll have a real strong concrete plan to stick with it. So staying committed, I'm going to do a little graph. The first part of commitment is, and this applies to starting as well, starting a goal, but the first part of commitment is understanding that life will happen, understanding that there will be roadblocks, understanding that things will come up that you can't avoid, life will throw you a curveball and you have to deal with it, so you miss your practice, you miss the thing that you're working on, you'll get ill, you might have to take a week off because you have a cold or a flu, you'll have to do something in the family that requires a lot of your energy. So things will happen. And if you can prepare your mind that I am going to embark on this journey, but in order for me to stay committed, I have to understand and appreciate that life will happen. And this way you prepare your mind. And I always use an analogy of, imagine you're going on a car journey. It's a 100-mile journey. There's 2 scenarios. Scenario A, you don't prepare for the journey. You just get in the car and think, right, 100 miles, here we go. You get 10 miles in, suddenly road closure. There's been an accident and you panic, right? You're thinking, oh, I had a map planned out. I need to get there by a certain time, but now suddenly there's a roadblock and you panic and you're wondering what to do. It becomes a stressful experience. And in the end, you might want to just throw in the towel and give up. Scenario B, you plan for the journey. You look for any potential road closures. You prep up for the journey ahead. You look at potential alternate routes that you could take. You apply the journey, you get on the journey, 10 miles in, roadblock. Oh, okay, I can just go this route. No stress, you've planned for it. So you can accept what has happened and then you can continue moving forward. So prepare that life will happen, and when that roadblock hits, you will see it and think, okay, this is part of the journey. Let me continue. Whether I need to take a week off, I'll be back on track. Whether I need to just take this day, appreciate that there's been a stumbling block, cool. But because I've prepared in my mind, I'm not going to quit. I'm not going to go back to the start. So that is tip number 1. Prepare for the life's journey, let's say. Cool. Then 2 is to, well, let me get a different color. 2 is to, let me just scribble this, because the process to a goal is never linear, right? It looks a little bit like this rather than a straight line to success. So when you have those days of, I don't want to do the thing, let's say you've been turning up for a week or 2, let's say the month hits. When the month hits, and then you're getting the thoughts of, I don't want to do this, I can't do this, my motivation is really going downhill. Try to remember, and this allows you to push through, but try to remember during the times of highest resistance that will be the hardest part. The resistance, when you're sitting on the sofa, when you've just got back from work and you're tired, when you're waking up in the morning, that resistance to start will be the hardest part of it. So if we can get past that point, then the ball is rolling. And I think you know this already. Have you noticed when you've been going to the gym, or you're at the gym, or you're doing your stretches, or you're in the routine, or you're cooking, when you're doing it, you're flowing. It's so much easier to stay in the thing once you're doing it. But it's the starting point, right? It's the getting out of bed to do it. It's the doing it when you're tired. It's doing it when you really don't want to do it. So tip 2, during the times of, I don't want to do it, I don't want to stay committed, remind yourself that I won't write it all out, but this starting point is the hardest part. So what do I need to do? I need to take the smallest action possible. I need to do it in the next 5 seconds. What's the first step? Putting my shoes on for the walk, taking the duvet off me, putting my feet on the ground when I'm sitting on the sofa. With those 5 seconds, you tell your brain that, oh, it's not as intense as I thought. Maybe I can do this process. But it starts with 5 seconds. It starts with being aware that I don't want to do it, but being aware that this is the hardest part. If I can get past this resistance, I'm flying. And then after the awareness, you ask, how can I start in the next 5 seconds? What's my starting point? And with that starting point, you tell your brain, there's a manageable step here, so let's move forward. And then tip 3, maybe the most important part. This all works with the second one, the tip number 3. Tip 3 is to remind yourself, why are you doing this in the first place? What's the reason? If I was to say, go to the gym today, you'd be like, okay. Let's use another scenario. If I was to say, remember to go to the gym today because one of your biggest goals is to have the strength and energy to keep playing with your grandchildren and keep socializing and keep doing your hobbies. Go to the gym is one. The other, go to the gym because of a reason. One carries much more motive, and you probably felt that in your stomach. Go to the gym, yeah, Josh, don't tell me what to do. But if I remind you to go to the gym because of X, Y, or Z, because of your energy and strength, it hits you, right? It says, you know what, that is true. And why that's so important, because on the days you don't want to do it, if you remind yourself what is the deep reason, it will move you. Emotion moves. Emotion means immovere, which means to move. So if we can create emotion around the goal, remembering your deep reason, the deep motive for doing it, you're more likely to move the needle. You're more likely to get past this resistance. Let's use another example. Let's say you really don't want to eat well. You really don't want to eat healthy. You're in the mindset of, I just want to enjoy, I want to indulge, I want to have some fun, I want to eat as whatever I want, which is cool. I always think there should be room for flexibility. But if your goal, if your discipline is introducing or implementing, increasing nutrient-dense food, fruits and vegetables, whole grains, lean protein sources, but you really don't want to do it, there's resistance to make that healthy meals, there's resistance to go out and get the fruits and vegetables, go to the farmer's market, whatever it is. Again, remind yourself, why do I want to do this in the first place? When you want to go for the ultra-processed foods, remind yourself, why do I want to eat healthy? Well, I do want to recover from my injury. I do want to recover from my pain. Why is that important to me? Well, I do want to get back to playing tennis. Why is getting back to tennis important? Because it's one of the things that I've done throughout my life that's so important to me, that gives me life. We're going down the path of why. Why are we wanting to eat healthy? And when you spark that emotion in your brain, it says, that's why. That is why I don't want to quit. And that is why I have the willpower and the discipline to keep moving forward towards my goal. Always relating your goal to the deep reason. So they're the 3 points. There's probably many, many more, but these are the 3 which really, really helped me, help clients over the last 8-9 years. And I really think it will help you too. So remember, it's not going to be linear. There's going to be road bumps or roadblocks. When there's resistance, be aware of that resistance. And to overcome that resistance, realize this is the hardest part. If I can start, then I'm flowing. How to start, take action. That requires 5 seconds. That 5 seconds will remind your brain that, oh, this is achievable. Let's carry on. And then remembering the emotion, the why, the deeper reason for your goal, why you're doing this in the first place. Thanks very much for your time. Please subscribe to the channel, and really hope that was helpful. By the way, YouTube recommends a video, which I'll place here. I think you'd really enjoy that one as well. That one will be about 5 to 10 minutes.